Good, welcome back to the channel, back with another video for you guys. Today we're on a 2013 Dodge Grand Caravan. We're getting ready to take this tire off and we're going to replace the driver's side strut. Had a minor accident, as you can see, and the only damage that we've seen so far is the strut. Always use a jack stand for safety, and definitely gonna need a jack to do this job. 19 millimeter to remove your lugs. Always remember and double check, triple check your bolts, meaning that put it on there, make sure it doesn't move too much. And I usually practice in a star pattern. So when you put a wheel back on, let's say I broke these two and these started to get loose, it's gonna buckle. So this turn, you turn the corner, this is gonna buckle out versus you having 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3 there to keep it still secure all the way around. Sometimes you might have to bang them off the ground like that because they get stuck inside the socket sometimes. And you want to make sure you flush all the way on there before you start impacting or twisting off, because you will round off your bolts. So let's just pop it on. Make sure we're doing the same for them all. Alrighty, let's get these up. We'll just put them in this guy. Out the way. You might have to smack it a couple times, lift them up and off. Alright, so I can tell after looking at the new shock that we purchased that it is the correct shock. Let's put some more lighting in here. So we're getting ready to remove our ABS wire here. We'll pop this up from here. I'll pop this out from here. And now that it's off and it's free, this will be the only bolt. This is a fixed nut. It's a bolt on the side. Feels like a 10 millimeter. So we're gonna pop all our lines out the way. That way we're free here. And we're gonna, do we even need to? We might have to transfer this bracket. I'm not quite sure. It's been a while since I've done a Grand Caravan, but we're definitely gonna need some other equipment. Let me find out what exactly we're gonna need, because like I said, it's been a while, and we'll light this bad boy up. Looks like somebody's been here already, which they have. All right, so you have your traditional bolt down here. This one is smaller. I can tell already if you look on this side over here, somebody's been in here. This is more like a 14, and that is possibly an 18. I think I got one of those. I'm gonna look through my toolbox, well, my screw collection, and we're gonna replace it because this is a much thinner bolt. It should be like this one, which is factory. This is usually a fixed nut, meaning that it doesn't come off. You're gonna impact off from this side or torque off from this side. Same with this one. Yeah, this works, but you want what came out. So we're gonna hopefully fix that today, or we'll have to use it again. So let's get everything that we're gonna need, and I'll be right back in a sec. All right, so we're in here for your sway bar link. You're gonna need an 18 millimeters. Sometimes they're really brittle and they're rusty. It might go down in size, but I do believe it's an 18. I just haven't cleaned it out quite a bit yet. But you wanna clean it out as much as you can, and you wanna make sure it seats well, because you do not wanna round them off. Always use a 6-point socket for suspension, and it fits real good. So we're gonna need that. We're gonna probably need a wrench on the side or some channel locks to get this to pop out. There was no damage as far as visual damage that I can see. As far as the sway bar link on this side, it still looks straight. The tire rod end is still straight. So you do have some flex because these are joints. So no damage there. We're gonna back these out, and then we're gonna proceed up to the top, which is a 13 millimeter to remove the 3 shock bolts at the top mount. All right, so we got everything out. This is a 15, supposed to be a 19. Let's double verify. Supposed to be a 19, but somebody replaced it, and see, one size is bigger than the other. But right now we don't have one. When we go to the junkyard to replace this fender here that has been damaged, and this bumper, we will get another one of these and pop it in, because we got to take the whole wheel and stuff back off anyway. So let me quit talking and let's start removing. All right, so this is what you want to remove first. Let's see if we can get it to cooperate. 19, I do believe. Nope, is that the one I said? 19, no. Got a few of them on the ground out here. Nope, that's the 21. And this is the 18. I mark mine with white paint so I don't mess them up. Sometimes they come right out, sometimes they don't. Hopefully this one backs out for me. Otherwise I'm gonna have to use a wrench, which I might get anyway, just to help assist. You don't have to be a specific one. I'm going to use an adjustable wrench and just adjust it down. Some of these you might have to use a C-clamp, well, use a channel lock or something, but these usually have a box on the back of them, so I'm just trying to size it to size. I'm almost there, and that's about it. All right, so since I got that set, I should be able to back this on up and out. We're going to use our jack to jack it up a little bit because this is going to move, so let's do that. We already set on our jack stand. So have one of those for doing this job, just because you're going to need your jack again. All right, got our 1/2-inch breaker bar, and all these are 1/2-inch pieces, 1/2-inch impact. Everything's 1/2 inch because a 3/8 you will snap off the head for this stuff. So I usually jack up right up under here on the ball joint or control arm, or even sometimes you can just touch the rotor. Okay, and if you do touch the rotor, you do have a rotor shield. You might have to pry it back out, but just to do that, you want to make sure that you pry it back out. So let's move all of our wiring that's hanging and out the way. You want to always check for your wiring. So we're going to jack this up until this straightens up a little bit. And if it doesn't, then we're going to go back down a cinch. And let's remove this bolt first since it's acting funny on me a little bit. Let's get that out first. 18 millimeter. Spun on me a little bit. So since it did that, let's jack it up a little more. See how it's moving? There we go. Let's set this one more time. See if we good. If not, we're gonna have to use channel locks. Okay. Let's see. It should be pretty good. Let's see if we can get it out now. Worst case scenario, you have to get it out. There we go. Now they get hot, so if they're old and rusty, you want to keep going if you can, and you definitely don't want to strip it. So right here on the back end, it's a little box. Let's see if I can show you. So it's a nut on the back. Some of them you don't. It's a circle, but this specific one, I was feeling around and felt that. Tire rod sway bar feels pretty good. These are the ones that you can re-lubricate, but after so long, you just want to replace it. So now that we got that, we're gonna start removing these bolts here. All right, so let's go with the shorty. Since we got this out the way and we are reusing this, so let's just count for everybody and just thread it up a little bit, just like that. All right, so now we have these two, 1, 2 here, and we already support it. So let's go ahead and back those out as well. This is usually a fixed nut, but in this case, it doesn't look like it because they changed it. So let's get what we need and proceed. Got our 15 millimeter. You can also use a breaker bar. So we're gonna use that just to break it free. Help us a little bit. You got on and off. Make sure it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. So on is usually when you crank this way. This is tightening. And then going left, which would be off, going this way. You hear the click, you're going this way to crank it, okay? So we're going off, so we're gonna leave it that way. Let's move this out the way for us a little bit. Start with the top. All right, we got it to break free. And definitely use a 6-point. So over here, see we're spinning. So that's a free bolt. So we're gonna have to get the size for it. Might be a little bigger, let's see. Feels like it might be an 18, so let's just check around and see. Last bolt. Yep, 18. So we got everything out we need so far. All right, so now we're gonna switch over to our, I believe it's a 21. I don't do this specific shock style all the time, so I work on pretty much everything. So I'm not familiar all the time or remember every car that I worked on, unless I do that specific vehicle a lot. So we're going off. Let's crank it down. And you might not be able to, so give it some more. There we go. Felt something. There we go. And you want to keep your wrench straight as possible. So I know I got movement over here. So we're gonna spray some more PB Blaster or something on it. And just showing you this, I could just use the impact, but you might get the spin, you might not. So now let's use the impact if we need to. It helps faster. So now we broke free. You see this one's not spinning. It's a fixed nut. It is built into the actual shock area. Do believe. Nope, it's not a fixed nut either. So now that we got movement, I believe that's a 21. Let's double check. Because that was a 18. Come back over. That one's a 21. So we got 21 on this side, 21 on this side. So now that we got this free, right, so we can also use this. Just make sure this is out the way. We don't want to damage our ABS sensor. I think this is the one I have to replace anyway. It was coming up on the code, but all good. We're gonna open this up as much as we can for that size. And then we're gonna let it rest right there. After we tighten it up some. Right. Now we're gonna impact it the rest of the way out. Switch over to that dude. Now that it's locked up against the vehicle. And you wanna be careful, you don't wanna damage your knuckles or anything. So just be careful, take your time. Now you see the vehicle move in a little bit. So that means I should lower this down some. And this shock is damaged right here. So when the accident happened, it cracked it right in this gap here. See? So it pushed it in, so we gotta take it out. All right, so let's go ahead and back it the rest of the way. And then we're gonna move to the top one. All right, that's pretty loose. Switch over to the 15, and we might be doing the same thing for us here. I think it was moving too. Yes, it is. Just lock it. Make sure. All right. Now we got that. Give it some bangs here in a minute, some wiggles. Let's get this one all the way off as well. And we're gonna have to lower it down a little more. Right about there. Hopefully that's good enough. And let's see. Still tight. Let's go back with our wrench. Make it grow. Almost done. There we go. That's good and tight. All right, let's vacuum the rest of the way out. You see I'm switching so many sockets back and forth, so I'm always putting one on to check and make sure it's correct. All right, so now that we got this, it should pop right on out. Set it back. All right, other bolt. Right, now that we got that, let's see how loose we are. Not really that loose there, but we are here. So we should be able to smack that guy on out. And if not, let's lower him down a little more. See how it switched up? All right, we got that one. That one has a lock on it. So we're gonna put this back on just the way it came off. And they did this because this is not supposed to be this size. It's supposed to be bigger. It's supposed to be the same size as this guy down here. So let's do the same with that one. You can also use a baby sludge. Now we might pinch it down just a little more. There we go. And then rock it back and forth a little bit. And in some cases you might need a punch, but I think we can drill it the rest of the way out while I wiggle it. Now just be careful. That should be enough. And if not, let's just keep doing it and we'll wiggle at the same time. There we go. All right, so we're gonna put this on how they came back out. I recommend you do the bottom with the big one if you have this issue, just because it's more solid and it's gonna keep this locked in versus this blowing out, because it's the main point. All right, so after we do that, we're gonna take our bolts and match them back up so we don't mess them up. Don't want to damage your threads. All right, so now that we got all that loose, we did not have to remove this. We'll know in a minute when we get our new shock, and I think we do. All right, so we'll do that after we remove the shock. Let's get everything no stress, and we're gonna go back up top. We'll be right back in a second. All right, so got everything loose up underneath. We might have to transfer this bracket, but right now all this is loose, and we're gonna go up to the top and start working. And then what we'll do is we'll release the jack stand, and you'll see here in a second. So right here, you're gonna have one of these push pin guys where you're gonna have to wiggle. It sits right here. Okay, you're gonna have to wiggle, pull him up, and you'll be able to have access. Some people are removing this whole area, which requires you to remove your windshield wipers, and we're not gonna do that. We're gonna cheat. I'm not saying that we're cheap. 3/8, 13 millimeter, okay? I'll lift this up, and we're gonna hold it like this. And let me get a little piece of light right there. There we go. Start breaking these guys free. I might have to go up a little size, maybe not. Ouch, hit the thumb. Damn it, I don't like it. All right, got that one. Let's go back to the back, and let's see. We have a issue here, but we're gonna squeeze through the mud. Hopefully we can get to it. If not, I got another way. Let's go ahead and break this one free for today. And I'm using a 6-point, so that's why it's a little tedious. Let me get an extension real quick. A little 1/2 inch extension, 1.5 inch. Get one of these guys right here. Just pop him in, just to help give us a little more height right here. All right, got it on there. It's cranking, getting loose. All right, our friend over here, let's see what we can do. We might be going a different route. We want to get into it, which we are. So we're gonna use a regular standard ratchet wrench. All right, your head okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So we're gonna go with a 13 ratchet wrench, or we're gonna go with a flex head. So we got our ratchet here, 13. Make sure it's set righty tighty, lefty loosey. These have switches on them. That's right. Flip it over, it's left. These are some old schools. I've been having them for years. So let's go over here. And this is probably the easiest way to go about this. Let's see if I can get it to crank over. And if not, we're gonna go a different way. And we are. So let's back this off. Got me a flex head. We're about to use that instead. Hopefully it'll give me the same results. And let's pop it on. And we can tilt it a little bit and crank it. And hopefully we can. If not, we gotta do something else. And I think we might be doing something else. We're about to find out. Just get a little bit on there. There we go. All right, so we on there. Let's see if I can swing it back and grab it. Come on, buddy. That one's on there real good. Okay, so we're about to see what we're gonna do about that. We'll be right back to let you know. All right, so told you guys we're gonna figure out what we was gonna do without removing this. We ended up using a 13-inch stubby. Okay, so I used that, took my wrench here, just cause it's in a tight spot. I bumped it up against it like that. And while my son was holding it, I took my mallet, hammer or something. It don't have to be one of these guys, but it was, you see it's new. I just grabbed it just to tap on it a little bit, gave it a couple of and broke him free. So after doing so, we are able to loosen this guy up, and we're gonna go ahead and take these out. We're gonna leave one on just so I can separate it from the actual spindle down there. All right, so got that up and loose. Get the hard one out first. You're not gonna be able to get a torque wrench in there unless you remove this whole thing, but it's usually about 33 foot-pounds to 45, somewhere around there. Just make sure it's nice and snug. This one specifically, because it's so far in the back, so I'm just using my fingertips to rotate it out. Put him there, count for one, and these are almost loose. Let's go ahead and break those free with our baby guy. And now I'm gonna put some pressure on the shock itself. That one's real loose, so yeah, we'll take that one out first. Slap this there on my magnet mat. And I'm cheating, not saying I'm cheating, but you can always do different things. Everybody brings something to the table. Everybody's brain works on a different level. So now I'm gonna jack this up over here by the wheel a little bit, and we'll be able to remove that. So let's just, oh dang, he's already out. Never mind, we're gonna have to do some wiggles now. So let's drop this guy, because he's already loose. And we should be able to pull him out like that. And now we'll wiggle it and work it out from up top. So this is the last bolt. Once I usually get here, I'll wait till I get close to my last thread, and then I'll hold the shock. But this is under a plastic piece. Most shocks aren't under your drain for your rain drain. So now that I got that loose, just trying to get it loose enough. And then I'm gonna grab the shock, push it up. I think I'm about there. Let's see how much threads I got left. Not quite ready. I just don't want it to fall out. So there we go. Hold it about there. Put this right here, leave my hand here, and walk around to the shock, hold it, and wiggle it at the same time. There we go. Now he has came free at the bottom. Drop something over here. And let's come on over. Now we have our shock. I'm gonna lift it up and wiggle it out. All right, so that's how you remove the shock. Let's go match it up with the new part. Now you can see where the shock has bowed, and that's from that crack right here. And you see the bowl right there, so that's messing up the alignment as well. Let's get our new dude, match it up. You can see how much straighter it is. So it moved quite a bit. So always match up your parts all the way around. We are gonna have to remove this bracket, now that I see, to put over here on this side. But you could stay for the full installation. I probably will, but for those who are mechanically inclined and already know the mud on putting it back in, which shouldn't be too much since we got it out, please like, subscribe. If you want to, you still willing to see the full video, we're getting ready to proceed on doing that anyway. So be right back, bathroom break. So we in here, getting ready to remove this bracket that we're gonna need. Kind of bent him up a little bit. I'm trying to ratchet him out, but it's gonna be straight like this. It's 10 millimeter. So we're matching it up. It's going on this side. And look at your holes. Make sure everything good. This one has 2 holes. This one has 2 holes, so it's gonna go to the furthest hole outside. I see this little sleeve. Don't think we need it. Yeah, we're gonna have to slide it over this piece. Okay. For those who don't know, I didn't know either. Just finding out. That's why I'm doing this, because this is different from some of the older model Caravans. So we got this loose, nice and free. Let's see if we can hand turn it out. Might have to do it with this. Just a little more leverage and grip. But you see how I'm looking and observing while I'm doing. So just look and observe. You don't have to have this. You can use actually a zip tie to go through the hole just to keep the wire out the way. But it's always good to put back what came, how it came. So let's see if we can get it all the way out. It's a pretty long bolt. And we have it spinning right here. See that? So that being said, let's grab some pliers. Hold it in its place. Let's see if we can get it out. And we're still spinning. Let's see about this side. What we have. It doesn't have a lock on this side, so let me get some locking pliers. Alright, so let's lock this in its place just so we can transfer it. You don't have to do this. You can just zip tie it like I said, but try to keep all the hardware that we can. And if it doesn't come, we will be zip tying. and it popped off. So we will be zip tying. So if yours ain't coming out, just leave that, because it's just gonna give you a headache. Just zip tie it to your bracket here, which we're gonna do and show. So let's go. All right, so we back. When you're doing this, you're gonna wanna make sure this is facing outside, as far as this area here, where my knee is, facing outside towards your spindle, okay? So we're gonna slide this in, and we're gonna get one set. Sorry about the movement. So I'm gonna have my son pry this up. I'm gonna grab one of these bolts and start working it up in the hole up underneath. And let's see, we got some light. And let's work it up. You might have to adjust your sway bars and stuff. As soon as you feel it slide up, which you will. Try to get my holes lined up. Almost?
Yep.
Okay.
Go up.
I might sit on my butt. Okay. All right, let me sit on my butt. I was trying not to, but it always helps. Especially with these. Let's see. Oh, I gotta move my spindle back some. And we about there. All right, go in, buddy. There we go. So now that we there, I'm gonna come back up. Up and popped out. And this thing weighs about 25, 30 pounds. So if you're struggling and stuff, it's because of the weight. I gotta shift my spindle back a little bit. Almost. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna leave that there.
Or you could pass me that move.
Pass in one of them bolts. You can hit it on the front. Hold it. There we go. And put as many on as you can.
Got you. Ugly dude is on.
All right, that's the bar one.
Oh, yep.
All right, just get them all started.
Yep, there you go.
All right. Here,
putting on the last one.
One more. Tighten up as much as you can with that by hand. All right.
Giving them all the tight down.
Not super tight.
Uh-huh.
All right, gonna do that last. You good?
Yep.
All right. All right, go ahead and grab the cam. Come over here where I am.
All right.
All right, so now we got those set. Get our lighting. All right, I got those set. We do have our funky bolt, which is going at the top. You want your main spindle bolt down here. We're gonna rock this guy back and forth till we get it to go like that. Whichever one that'll go in first, put it in. So we're gonna try the bottom one first, and you're gonna wanna wiggle it and rock it till it slides through. And if it doesn't, then you might have to adjust it a little bit. Let's see how much I gotta go up. Gotta crank it up a little bit. My spindle, there we go. And we went up too much, let's go back down. This is where you're gonna have to play with it a little bit. There we go. Got that in. Got my bolt. Just kind of wiggle it up and down a little bit. Bolt them out. Get it go all the way through. And we'll lock it in its place just by holding on the bolt. Let's do the top one as well. Remember, this was on this side. Nuts on that side. Give it some rocks. Wiggle it on through. Okay. So from here, we got everything cool. This is gonna go here. This was gonna go here in this bracket, but we're gonna have to zip tie this and zip tie it here. The sway bar link goes here. You just want this stable, even if you can't go back the way it came out. You want it stable, not flopping around. You don't want it to bump up against your tire or anything. So now that we got these in, we're gonna tighten these up first. all the way. And let's get all those together. And let's see. Nope, wrong socket. All right, let me get all my sockets together. Be right back. All right, so we're at the bottom now, which is great. We're almost done with this procedure. For those who still with us, still have my crescent wrench. This is 21. We're just gonna snug it up. Just like that. Get it on there, good. We're gonna go back up to our 15 since it's not the same size. And let's move this out the way so we're safe. Don't hurt to move it out the way because you know you're gonna have to reposition anyway. And it's always good to have a friend or somebody around. Otherwise, you're gonna have to take off more or you're gonna struggle a little bit, okay? So now I got that set. Let's pop this off, pop him in first. And let's get him on there. Now I'm letting my batteries cock it to the side a little bit. All right. All right, so we tight there. Let's go to the bottom, do the same. Back to our 21. Let's get that one back tight as well. And I'm still gonna use, oops, let me come back down. So I'm not on the boat. Let's make sure we're good. There we go. All right, so now that we're all the way on there good, we're gonna go ahead and jack this up, put our sway bar link back in. Move this light over to the side a little bit. We are still on our spindle, so let's back this off. Keep him and back him up. Let's go ahead and jack our shock up. We want it kind of even. And let's see if we can get it in. We're almost there. Let's move this light a little bit more. Side that we're working on. All right, so we got it. Let's bend this back some and see if we can work it in. There we go. Let's go ahead and put this on. It does have a Torx bit on the middle, but sometimes they get real brittle and, well, get real rusty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing that we did when we took it out. And let's verify our socket again. Feels good. That is a 18, okay? Now we're gonna tighten as much as we can just to see what we get until the balls on the back starts to spin, and it is. So let's see where we're at. Let's tighten him up. And you want it to rest just like that. Pull that forward. Let's go ahead and hit the impact and tighten it in. You can also use your breaker bar and stuff, but we got the good tools to help us get it done faster. So let's get this on. Might have to adjust it a little bit. Hold it. And you seen it move. We're good. We're tight. Give it some wax. Should pull right off. There we go. So now we're good there. Everything is stable and secured underneath. Let's go ahead and start putting this wire back. I'll snap this one in right here. Right. Supposed to have one here. So we're going to zip tie that here. And we'll zip tie it here too. So let's go up top, finish tightening those down with our 13 milli. Let's jack it up some more. Well, we should be already jacked up, yeah. And all that's doing is compressing your spring, compressing your spring enough. Check your wrench, righty tighty, all right. Let's go all the way to the mean dude in the back. Don't worry about me dropping stuff. Let's just sit it on there and see if it's hand tight enough first. Nope. Jack it up some more. Let's tighten up everybody. No, stay on, buddy. Move some debris out the way. Tighten up everybody first, hand tight. I'm gonna hit the jack one more time just to make sure we're good. There we go. All right, so everybody's tight. We're gonna be using this guy for the far one in the back. See how much we got left. I'm gonna go from this side. Make sure we're going tight. And if you got a friend, you can do this. Or this, otherwise you're taking off all that other plastic stuff. So we're still loose. Pop this up and spinning down my hand some more. using the fingertip as much as possible. Let's go back in. And I jacked it up pretty tight, so this should be the right height. And that one's good. It could be a little tighter, but let me go with it with this hand and see if I can get it a little tighter. All right, there we go, that's it. All right, so he's tight. Let's switch back over to our other ratchet. Like I said, it's gonna probably be about 33 to 45 foot-pound. Don't quote me on it, because I'm not sure. Just trying to wiggle this up and off. Let's go with this hand. You're gonna have to switch back and forth from different hands. Just saying. And then sometimes you might be in this position that I'm in. I might have to get a flat head to assist, so let's do that. Just to get him up and off. There we go. Got him to pop up. Let's get in there and dig him out. All right, so let's get our other ratchet. Set this there for the moment. Lordy! He dropped all the way in, but it's cool. Because all this is down here has got to be moved. All right, now that we good, get our 13, set it, same thing, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. All right, don't tighten one before you do the other one. You want to go in evenly. All right, so we're gonna finish out on this side. Right, go over to this one. Get him a seat. There we go. That's good. Let's go back, check. All right, I want to go back and check him again. Let me try with a longer wrench. Let's do a long 13 and see what we get, if we get any movement. Yep, we did. So let's crank him as much as we can. And it's a little tedious if you don't take off the whole piece like you could. I think we're tight enough. Yeah, I think we're tight enough. So we're good down there. You know, you put this back down in this spot. Put our light back here so we can pop our plastic piece back in. And then we're done. Pop that back in. There you go, buddy. All right, so we got that back in, and we was able to do everything that we needed to do this job. And we can start collecting sockets and stuff. But as you can see, we are done. And what I meant by zip ties, let me go get some. Be right back. All right, so we back in here. So what I mean by zip ties, if you didn't or weren't able to replace your bracket, or if it was rusty and brittle and broke off. So I'm just gonna loop this through here, around here. It's never gonna rust. You just have to buy some more. And these things are like maybe $1.50, $2 for 100 pack, maybe 50 for $1 or $3, you know, fluctuation. So I'm trying to see. Matter of fact, you guys can't see. So let's do this. All right, so got my zip tie wrapped through my hole. This is for those who don't know. And just slide him up. Got that out the way. Some people leave it a little loose. I'm gonna tighten it up just a little more, just for some wiggly room for when you're hitting bumps. Same thing through the top one. And you just want to secure it, just so it's not damaging itself or anything else. Because these are wires and they're brittle and they transmit to the computer. ECU, electronic control unit. If I can get it in there. All right, now that you see how stable that is. All right, so we're gonna snap these off just so we don't have a little extra ugly on there. And this is how you change the front strut / shock. 2013. I'm pretty sure some other models, I don't know the rule, but please hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. This helps you out on replacing your quick strut shock. I only replace quick strut shocks because they are dangerous and they're fully loaded springs, and you might possibly injure yourself if you're not used to doing this work. But I'd rather do this and have you have a new spring than replacing the new strut or shock with the old spring. So yeah, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Hopefully this helps you out and you don't have any issues as far as that. But let's go ahead and cut this last piece off and drop it down. Always remember, rust is the enemy on these things, which causes us to work so hard. So like I said, hit thumbs up, like, subscribe.